Monday night? A show? What? Yeah, let's talk about it. Back in a minute. This is Jan from New York City. My channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. I love, love, love to help people keep their money. However, I am not the only person on planet Earth that loves to help people keep their money and much more than that. I'm going to bring him on, and here we go. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Janet.
How are you today?
Oh, not too bad. How are you?
Good. Oh, good. I want to mention to the folks, Steve, that recently, thank you for having me recently on your show a few days back, last Saturday. And we slightly touched upon a few mixed bag of tricks when it comes to money. But, Steve, you had mentioned something really, really important in how you budget your money, especially when it comes to living below or within our means. Can you talk about that for a second, please? How it works for you?
Oh, that's so easy. Some think it's difficult, but it really isn't. You know, not everybody works a 9 to 5, 8 to 4, and gets paid every 2 weeks or once a week, however. Though some of us get Social Security based on your birthday. Um, you know, whatever day your birthday, that determines what Wednesday of the week you get your money. Or if you're on disability, or whether it be the first of the month or the third, or however that works. In any case, whatever income you have, fixed or not fixed, if you get paid at a regular working job, um, what you want to do is you want to figure in. You can even do it on paper if you want to. You write down how much you're getting, and write down what has to be paid, what utilities, mortgage, rent, whatever you have going out. Or some of you out there may have a package deal where utilities and rent and all that is in one, which that is very few and far between, but there are some people out there that still have that. Once you figure in, you know, this is going to be paid, this has got to go out, this has got to, and you take all of that and subtract it from the dollar amount that you get, whatever come figure you get total, take that amount and divide it by that date until you get your check again. Whatever amount of days that is, you take it, divide it. If it's 15, 18, 20, whatever number comes up at the top when you do your division problem, try to stay within that number for that day. If you happen to use less than that amount, better for you. If you use, let's say you have $20 to use for today, but let's say you only wind up spending 14. That $6 is going to carry over to tomorrow. The amount will go up a little bit. But again, it has to do with living within that dollar amount for that day, is what you're doing. And it does work. I've been doing that system now for well over 20 years. I wouldn't be just saying it if I knew that it wouldn't work.
So then basically, you're saying basically that anyone could actually try this.
Yeah, anybody can try it, and it does work. Um, I mean, even if you get paid biweekly at a job, you know, you can still figure in from the Friday or whatever day you get paid. Okay, it's going to be this amount of days. We already know it's going to be 14 before you get paid again. So within that period that you get a check, because you got to go that week and the following week before you get another. factor in what bills you may have to pay within that period, if any. If you do, just take whatever's left, divide it by 14, 13, whatever amount of days, whatever number you get. You live within that number. If you don't have any bills that have to go out in that particular part of the week, better for you. But anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. It's not geared to just any specific person. No.
When you had mentioned this last Saturday, because as you know, I was a participant in your live chat. And I'm like watching you, I'm also a viewer, not just a content creator.
Mhm.
And I am an avid fan of your show. And not because we're friends, because I know that you know what you're talking about financially. You know so many things about so many areas, but you were discussing, with me financials. And I'm sitting there, and when you mentioned, Steve, the fact about what to do with that remainder of that money, I cannot tell you how much of an impact. I even wrote on the chat, huge point. You might remember me
I do
indicating,
remember seeing that.
because this, Steve, I think this little thing that many people may be tripping over, I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. This little thing that some people may fluff over is a big mistake to fluff over. So what you're saying is you pay all of your essentials, done deal. That's it. But of course, there's going to be leftover money. Does that mean you run to the let's say website and get unnecessary items? Oh, I have extra money. I don't think so.
There is another way to go about it too. This is where the money saving section or topic that you've spoken about in the past. Now, at the end of the month, if you have bare minimum $30, mission accomplished. That's $1 a day that you were able to save. Or let's go back to what I just said. Let's say you have $20 a day, but you only spend 14. You could take that $6 out. Take that $6 out and set it aside. And then whatever day you have for the second day, let's say your amount is $18, $17. Let's say you only spend 13. That's another 4. Add that to the 6. Now you have 10. You kind of get the idea of where I'm going here.
It's snowballing in the right direction.
Yeah. So that not only do you have the $1 a day method and then $30 at the end of the month, you could also be taking money out daily that you're not using per carryover. I've done it both ways, and it does work. I'm not just blowing smoke here. This is actually a system that I've actually done in the past. It does work.
So you're telling me, like, literally, Steve, for years, not just like, oh, okay, I tried it 3 weeks ago, or you're saying for years, and you never come out the loser.
No, you don't. No, you don't. But you also, at the same time, you have to know how to manage your money at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
No,
Good
you
point.
can't go out and be Mr. Spender. Ooh, I got all this money. Oh, now I can go get that whatever it is I want. Don't get me wrong. There is a time and a place for wants, but at the same time, though, you also want to be able to set a little petty cash off to the side. And this is where an emergency fund is created. And I had mentioned on one of your videos where you had me on as a little clip, there is a difference between an emergency fund and using a credit card as an emergency. The credit card is not an emergency fund, because if you treat it like that, you're going to go into, excuse my language, you're going to go into hellacious debt if you're not careful.
Yes. Yes. Steve, another mistake that we touched upon briefly on your show. By the way, if you don't know the program I'm talking about, it's the Steve Young 74 channel program. He comes on Saturdays at 1:30 in the afternoon. It's Saturday afternoon chat. I'm going to hook up that broadcast in the description box below. By the way, everybody, if you're finding value in this video, please smash down the like button right now.
Mhm.
You know, Steve, another thing that people do, now, I don't know, maybe it's my imagination, but I think, and we touched upon this on the show that I'm referring to, briefly touched upon it. Some people treat their credit card like it's their income, a paycheck. I'm having a problem with that. Is it just me that gets antsy on that one?
I wouldn't do that. Credit card. I know that. Let me just go back. It is. This is everybody. It's an epic moment in everybody's life the day that they get approved for their first major credit. Oh my gosh, I have a credit card. Now I can go out and have, oh, I can go get that luggage rack or whatever it is I want to buy. I can go and get that real good iPad. I can get the better model now. I can go out and get that pair of shoes I've been careful because those are all wants. I know I said luggage rack. I just happen to think of that at the moment, but but in any case, those are all wants. You have to watch. That card is temptation. Not only that, sure, you can have the tablet, you can have those real nice shoes that you want. I meant to say luggage set. I didn't mean to say luggage rack, but anyway, in any case, you can have the possibilities are endless. Yes, the sky's the limit when you have that card. There's only one problem. When you go to pull that card out, you're not looking at American money. You're not looking at actual bills in your wallet. You're looking at that card. And every time they run the card, or well, now you got the chip, but every time that card is used, this, that. Oh my gosh, $2,800. How did it happen?
That's it. It's too
Because you're not-
abstract.
because when you have the credit card, you're not keeping track of how much is going out. It's not like having ones, fives, tens, 20s, 50s, 100s in your wallet. It's not the same thing. So you have to be careful. People need to learn the importance and the discipline behind a credit card. Be careful with it. It's like I told a good friend of mine. I told him specifically early on, I said, please be careful with credit. I said, credit is something that can make you or it can break you. I said, it is like a fine piece of china. You do not get very many chances with it because if you don't pay your bill and it becomes late, and then after 30 days, if they have not received your payment, they have the right to submit it and report it to the credit bureau as a negative impact.
That's
So
right.
be very careful using a credit card. A credit card can make you or break you. It is a tool, as we both know, as you mentioned in the past, it is a short term loan. It was never, ever designed to go into long term debt with it. That was not the original intention.
Right. Exactly right. Steve, I want to shift gears for a second. I want to
Right.
talk to you a minute, if it's all right, if you have a minute, about value versus price. Now,
Okay.
okay, just want to briefly mention, of course, you know, we all know wonderful Prepper Princess channel, absolutely amazing. And she's the creator, the author of the book, Living on Almost Nothing. And I suggest strongly to a frugal person to get the book. Now, people may be saying, but Janet, you're always telling people to keep their money. Yes, as much as you can. But there are times that that little investment will bring on a huge return, such as in the instance of getting that book, for example. Now, you recently had a situation of knew someone or know someone that needed some sort of a car part or something to that effect. we're going to talk a minute about value versus price layout.
Okay. Yes, I did. Matter of fact, this just happened a couple of days ago. So, my longtime friend, also my roommate, um, Wednesday night, because we communicate through Messenger and we, you know, keep in touch when he's not here. And he happened to mention, Steve, my car's not starting like it did. I'm noticing that it's making a more dull sound when it starts. Um, and then he noticed on a little gizmo that he has, I have one, he has one where we can listen to our music off of our phone via Bluetooth through our car stereo. He says, I'm noticing it come in 11.6, 12.3. I said, JC, whoops, that's his name. Um, Hope he doesn't mind me saying it, but I said, what you need to do is take your car over to Advanced Discount and have them put it on the machine. And he did. And lo and behold, the alternator checked out fine. Thank you. I'm glad for that. But the battery come in just a little bit on the low side. Plus, the battery was only a 1 year warranty, so there was no replacement out of it. So he goes over to Walmart, where I got my battery. Lo and behold, he has a Camry. I have a Camry. Mine is an '05. His is a 2000. The same exact battery. So he went ahead and purchased the 3 year battery like I have. Keep something in mind. I've had my car and I've been driving my car since January of 2007. I've put a total of 5 batteries on my car, only had to pay for 2 of them. So, in actuality, he did himself a favor that if anything were to occur within a 3 year period, he's either going to pay a prorated amount or they'll just swap him out another battery. So you'll make out there. Now, I have a couple of stories if you want to talk about value versus price. And
Sure.
this has more than uh, fulfilled my bill. One, well, actually, let's make that 3 items. One is my car. Bought it in January of '07 from the original owner. It had just shy of 17,000 miles on it. Pretty much a new car. Got it at a good price. And I've been driving the car. Here it is, 15 and a half years later, I still have it. Yes, I've had to maintain it. Yes, things go out, things I've had to replace. But think about something 15 years driving the same car. How many people keep the same car for 15 years? Most don't. Most people, after they pay it off, they may keep it an extra year, year and a half, and then they consider getting something else. I didn't do that. I'm not one to do that. I do believe in if you buy a good product the first time, it's going to last you, but you have to take care of it. Now, I have 2 other items. Back in January of 1992, I was wanting a Yamaha CD player. It was a 5 disc changer, top of the line, had all the bells and whistles on it. It was an expensive CD player, and I wanted it for Christmas. My dad couldn't really afford it, but he found a way to afford it. Luckily, the store gave him credit, and he got a store credit card, and I got the CD player. Well, here it is, July. This was January of '92. Here we are, 30 and a half years later. Yes, it needs a little small belt about the size of a $50 that needs to be replaced that runs the tray belt. That CD player still works today.
Wow.
That's one. The second thing, December of 1996, I bought myself a, a turntable, a Techniques model. It's what the DJs like to use. I bought an SL1210 MK2. You're more than welcome to look it up. Everybody tried to get me not to buy it. Steve, you need to get a belt drive. I'm not really into the belt thing. You need to buy a fully automatic. No, because a fully automatic things are prone to break. So I bought it in December of 96. I bought it as a Christmas gift to me. I'm still using the turntable.
Oh my goodness.
So both of those items, well, actually the car too, the car, the CD player, and the turntable have all paid for themselves because I've had it all these years.
That's right.
So
That's right. There's a perfect example. I
those
mean,
are, yeah, that's a good little bit of a lineup there to show you value versus price. Sometimes it's better to go ahead and pay out a little bit more money. It may hurt at the front to get that better, but you'll make it back in the end.
that's right. I mean, honestly, I'll give you an example. Yes, there are free. There are some free sites, Open Broadcast Studios, OBS. True. I happen to prefer the platform that you see the logo on StreamYard right now. You use it too.
Hmm.
For our needs, we get value. We don't mind putting out that little bit of an investment. It's okay. It can range from a smaller price, a medium price, and very many bells and whistles. But there are times too that I will also go free. I've also been using the free, I'm going to say the name, I've said it on the show, Video Shop for many, many years for, small edits and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And it's great. You have to know the distinction. Steve, so the bottom line is we should all try to live below our means. And the point you made, in my opinion, was extremely important. Just touch upon that last part again. After all the bills are paid, what should one do with what's left over with their money?
Very simple. Look and see what, after you do the math, you figure it out on paper, you draw the line, you do your subtraction or whatever it is, whatever dollar amount that you come out with. You take that amount, divide it by how many days it is from the day that you're figuring out your income. That day, count out how many days it's going to be before your next payment or your next, when you're going to get paid again shows up. Take that amount of days, divide it into what that total amount is, and whatever number comes up on the top there, live within that. Don't go past it.
Wonderful, Steve. Before we go, I have a question. Is there anything else that you would like to add to this at all?
Mm, well, not really. I mean,
Okay.
no, that pretty much um, does it for me. Because, like I say, it. People think, I will say this though. Maybe I do have a little bit to include, but I will say this: it's not really that hard to live on a fixed income. No, it is not the easiest thing in the world to do. Believe me, I do know that. I'm one of those people that lives on a fixed income. And, when you have that amount of money and that's all you have to work with for that particular month, yeah, there's a lot of things that you would like to do or you might want, things like that, that you may have to postpone or set off to another time, but it is a difficult thing, but you can, in fact, live on a fixed income. It can be hard, but you have to put it in your mind too. Hey, I can do this. Remember those four words: I can do this. As long as you put that in your mind, and not only that, we don't go out every day. We don't have to go out every day. So that, not only are you able to save that money, the day that, all right, if you don't go out at all on a certain day, all that money that you had that particular day to use, it again, and it just keeps adding up.
Absolutely.
But the less you use, the more will add up per day.
That's right.
Again, this is all everything that I've learned along the way. This, and I hate to mention this, but it is true. I don't have anybody telling me this information. I am not reading it out of a book. It is not recited. It's nothing monotone voice that I'm reading. It's none of that. This is actual, for real situations and events that I've dealt with, that I've been doing now for 20 plus years. This is true trial and error, more trial than error. And the only error I had was information that I found to keep me from having an error show up.
Real life experience, Steve, the best.
Right, but I've never had any errors, but I learned about the errors to keep the error from happening.
Well, I could thank you so very much for sharing such important points.
Sure.
Steve, I'm going to send out an outro, and then we could come back with a wave, and we'll be right back with a wave. Thank you so much, Steve, for being here. Really appreciate you. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to head on over to the Steve Young 74 channel. And don't forget to slam down so you don't miss a beat, the subscribe button. And could I tell you something? I am on his show every single week, at least once. So there. Thanks for having me, Steve. Thanks for coming by.
You're welcome.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.